Here are 5 signs that it's time to get into materials writing. So see how many of these signs apply to you in your career right now. Number 1, you're already writing lots of your own content. So 45% of you straight away have got the right idea there. As Alistair said in the introduction, we recently set up a new materials writing special interest group at IFL called the Materials Writing SIG, S-I-G. And one of the reasons we did this is because we kind of had this realization that even though the majority of teachers aren't published authors, most teachers, or a very high number of teachers, do regularly write their own material. And this could be anything from the simplest, shortest quiz or test questions for your class, all the way through to a whole course that you're asked to design for your university or your school for a certain type of student or for a certain client. And if you're already writing your own content, you're already learning some of these important skills, and you're already showing that you've got an interest in this. And this is very, very important if you want to take that next step into doing this professionally. Number 2, you're already publishing lots of your own content. And I've put the word publishing into inverted commas here. As we saw from the polls, 7% of you are actually published authors. So several of you are publishing your own content via sort of traditional methods, be it through an ELT publisher or something similar. But there are lots of different ways that teachers publish their content now. I could have asked a different question, which would have been, how many of you are sharing content via a blog? I could have asked how many of you are sharing content with your colleagues at your school, for example, distributing worksheets or lesson plans around the staff room that other teachers can use. That in itself is a form of publishing. You might not be making any money from it, it might not have gone through an official publisher, but it's getting your content out there and sharing it with people. Number 3. A sign it's time to get into materials writing. Ironically, you're constantly dismantling your coursebook and putting it back together again. This is kind of counterintuitive, but in fact, one of the things that many publishers are often looking for is the kind of teacher who has a very, very strong critical eye for the kind of content that's already out there. And when I say critical eye, what I mean is if you're the kind of teacher who can open your coursebook, look at the lesson and think, great, this lesson looks fantastic, it's going to work really well. However, I think for this particular class, I'm probably going to have to move this bit around here. I might do the listening before I do the reading. Maybe I'll adapt the comprehension questions a bit. I might add some personalization activities. All these different things. It shows that you're thinking critically about the material. And if you're thinking critically about it, it means you're engaging with it. It means you're interested in it. It means you've got ideas. It means you've got ideas that you want to use in the classroom, and that kind of stuff is absolutely invaluable to a publisher. This is exactly how I used to approach my teaching. Many of the best editors and authors that I've worked with over the years are exactly this kind of person, that they take apart their coursebook and they put it back together again. If you're not already doing that, have a think about that as another thing to be doing. Number 4. You're going to lots of conferences, reading lots of blogs, engaging with the wider ELT community. This is kind of self-evident for the 189 of you who are here today for this webinar. What this shows is that you are absolutely engaged with your career, with your profession, that you're interested in it, that you're willing to give up your spare time to learn more about it, that you're willing to develop professionally. These are all signs that you might be ready to get into materials writing, because you obviously take this very, very, very seriously. And publishers definitely need teachers who take their career very, very seriously and who want to take it to that next step. And finally, you're not afraid of hard work. I made an allusion to this at the very, very beginning of the talk. Writing ELT materials professionally is very, very, very hard work. I'm not sure how many of you have attempted to do any kind of postgraduate study, for example, a master's or a Delta qualification at the same time as teaching. But that's quite a good analogy for what it can be like to write ELT materials professionally. Many people who do this don't do it as a full-time job. It's often supplementary to their teaching. And in fact, it can be a very, very good thing to to be in the classroom, to be teaching regularly while you're writing materials. It gives you lots of insight. It allows you to go out and test your material, to pilot it with students. What that means, though, is you're going to have to find time to do all your writing outside of your regular work hours. And what that means is working in the evenings. It means working early in the morning. It can well. So it is hard work. There are lots of benefits to it. There's lots of things that can pay off. But you have to be ready for some hard work, as I'm sure many of you are. So those are 5 signs that it's time to get into materials writing. And hopefully many of you are thinking, great, those are 5 things that I'm definitely there.